Hi. I'm getting stressed out with my connection. Um, I had to restart twice. Well, thrice. This is the third time. Hi, everybody. Okay. How is everyone? Did anyone manage to get a ticket for Singapore or the Australia? Hello. Okay, let me center you because I can't quite see you. There you go. Okay. Let me say hi to everybody first. Okay, I think I can do that. Okay, let me close some windows. Okay, hi everybody. Sorry for being late. I had to restart three times. The third time was the charm. Okay. And my dog wouldn't leave my mom's side. Okay, so I was trying to coax him in while I was restarting. Let me say hi to everyone. Um, Nadira, Robin Carr, Salmar, Nicole, Kujaku, Gigi for BTS, Shelling, Robin Bryce, Amy C, Alta 444, Shelling Genesis, Share Your Love, Reg Bear, Simply JJ, Courtney, Leah Borton, Nadira, Christina, Norwegian Wood, Hanako Grace, Reg Bear, Maritz, Emily, Carol, Z Arashi, Jax, Liz, Owe, A Brown, Rachel, Letitia, Z Arashi, OSP. Oh, my dog is on the door. The prince is gracing us with his presence. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me move back a little so you're comfortable. They miss you. Okay. You weren't here the last time. Say hi. They did not see you last Monday. You say hi. Say hi. You say hi. You say hi. Say hi. Hey, hey, hey. Say hi. Okay. I'm just happy that you finally came to me. All right. Sorry about that. Norwegian Wood, OSP Maritz, Susie, Bangy Luna, Marilyn. Yeah, Marilyn. Um, Rebecca, Carla Girl, Courtney, Bangy Luna, Norwegian Wood, Just Me CDV, One, Arlene, Helene, Joyful One, Share Your Love, Carol Faye, Amy C, Leah Warburton, Pia, Bedru, Monine, Z Arashi, Jax, Elazar, Robin Bryce, Pia, Anne Marie, Juan, Arlene, Bedru, Seven Purple Pearls, Dodger Girl, Genesis, Atsuko Tanji, Atsuoko Tanji, Nadira Kagomi, Kag Kagomi World, Leah Warburton, Christina, Norwegian Wood, Michelle, Zuri JV. There's just a lot of new names. Unless you're this is the first time you're saying hi. Saskia, Oz, LS, Uyehu, Uy, Eyahu. Okay. Um, Hitomi, Bedru, Warren, Kez, Felisa, um, horizontally flipped from normal. No, it is not. Mirroring? We're not mirroring. No, we're not. Um, am I mirroring? I'm not. I'm not. Not as far as I know. Shelling, IMGG, Lorena, Lindsay, Dodger Girl on Twitch. There was someone else on Twitch. Lorena is on Twitch. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. So, just a few announcements before we start. Starting next, on Monday, starting Monday, I will split the live stream into two. As you know, I usually try to do half BTS and then half for general, like industry news, stuff like that. So what I'll do is in the first half, I'll do general industry news if there are other things about other groups, other acts, or other things that are happening. I'll do that in the first half, and then the second half will be BTS. Unless it's entirely necessary to only talk about BTS, or if it's entirely necessary for me to talk about BTS first, because it's connected to the other topics that I'll be talking about. But just so you know, I'll do that format starting Monday, next Monday. Second thing, so I am, I am switched. I don't know how I did that. um, I don't know. Video, mirror camera. Is that it? Is this how it's usually are? I did not change any kind of settings. I guess it's just the system because I was really having trouble connecting. I had to restart not just the platform that I'm using, but actually the computer. I had to restart thrice. That's why I was so late. um I don't know why I still keep on using. Oh, the reason I still keep using this platform is I've paid for this already for the for the next so I usually pay annual, so I'll be using this for the next 10 months. That's the okay. So what was I saying? So yeah, I'll do that. So and then for so there Okay, so there are three topics, main topics that we will be discussing today. One is K-pop numbers in general. We're going to be talking about that, but it's actually kind of connected to BTS. So I'll talk about BTS first. Generally, for the K-pop in numbers, we'll talk about like some of the numbers that Billboard actually released, and then some other observations as to how it is actually kind of connected to the decline of stocks in K-pop. There has been like one second, let me see if I can show you. there's been some movements in terms of the let me see here. Okay. So I talked about this in one of my videos. There's been a decline, or at least it's been declining, the stocks, but it's volatile. It's just that it has been consistent for the last 6 months. And there's some development on how investors are looking at K-pop right now. So all of those things are connected. BTS is connected to that. K-pop in general is connected to that, and then the investment thingy is actually connected to that. And then we'll talk about some just updates on who are actually going to go on tour and stuff like that. So, um, hi Anne Marie. Okay, so let's talk about happy things first. How's that? Let's talk about happy things first. We finally got an updated family photo. Yay! So we finally got some family photo. Congratulations to us. So this has been the historical family photos that we've had since 23rd for 2014. As you know, that is the historical first birthday party of BTS. It was in their very old building. So even after, so they debuted 2013, 2014, 2015, they actually continued living in that dormitory, the two-bedroom dormitory. One of the bedrooms that's occupied by their manager, and then the other manager, and then the other room occupied by all the other members. So if you've ever been to, if you watched my BTS pilgrimage, 2013 pilgrimage, I went to all the dorms that they actually lived in for up until the third dormitory. So yeah, watch that and you'll see like the progression of their dormitory. So this one is the very first dorm that they ever lived in. So that's the history of our family photos. Okay, and so this is our family photo for the year. There's a lot. I will show you where they actually shot this. So tell me which one's your favorite. Um, okay, so this is the first one. I just zoomed in because some of you actually like looking at their faces as well. I just absolutely hate the pants of RM. Well, a friend of mine was like, I said, I hate his pants. A friend of mine was like, what? It's cute. Anyway, he's cute. So it doesn't matter what kind of pants he's actually wearing. Okay. So that's the first one. And then the second one, they're so mature now. That's the second one. Um, I have to say, whoever took this, I don't know if this was taken by a professional photographer. I doubt it because why would to all the photographers out there, it's mortal sin to actually take a photo in like 12 noon, like 10 a.m. until 3. That's the kind you don't want to be taking photos outside unless you have like lightings that would lights, sorry, and other equipment that would block the sun because it's going to cast a shadow on your face. Your forehead is going to cast a shadow on your face. It does not look flattering. So I don't know why they actually did this midday. But anyway, the only thing is that they all look good. So it's okay. But it's just I was surprised that they actually did it. Maybe it's the only free time that they had, but okay. That's the close up of their second photo. What was this location? It's an peer space location. I'll show it to you. Okay, third photo taken from the side. I just have a feeling that this was not taken by a professional photographer. I could be wrong though. I mean, look at those shadows on their faces. Would you I don't know. I don't know if this is something this is funny to me. It feels like Parasite. Yeah, that was maybe that's the only time that they could actually do it. Yeah. It feels like Parasite. This one is a little better because I think they were under the tree or something because there's no overcast. So a little better, a little. I love this shot. Okay. So maybe someone's looking at some Pinterest photos on how to take great family photos outside or something, but this one's cute. Um, and then I think this is the fifth one. Absolutely love this one, but I did zoom in because I know that you're going to ask for it. They're all I think so. There's a video. I haven't seen the video, the behind the scenes, but I think this they were asked to laugh. Just they weren't really laughing. They were just asked to laugh. Okay. Next. Okay, next is that. So this is the zoom in of this one. Okay. So we came from that and then another shot and then zoom in of that one. Okay. And then this. So this one's better because it's inside. Also, I don't think they were like I feel like there's no like mood board for this show. I'm sorry. I'm not bashing them. I actually find it funny. I feel like there's no mood board. There's no there I think they were just like, "Oh, let's take a picture." I don't know. It's just the poses don't make sense to me. Not that it has to. It's just a family photo. Maybe that's the concept. There is no concept. um okay. So that is the zoom in of this one and the stairs. Okay, staircase. Okay. No airbrush. Correct. I love that it is natural. Maybe that is the concept that they go all natural. Okay, another version of the staircase photo. You love the shots, but you need to zoom in to see their faces. You do need to zoom in. Okay, and then we have that. I zoomed in, and then there's an extra zoom in because V's face is so funny. You actually don't you could miss it if from this angle it kind of like looks ordinary, but when I zoomed in I just noticed the facial expression is so funny. Okay. Um okay, and then this one uh, it could be like a poster for like one of those frat party that's going to be like a horror, a slasher film. This photo feels like that to me. It does feel like real family photos. It does feel like real family photos. Yeah, when I saw this one, it's like I said this could be like a movie poster for a slasher film. And it's like a frat party that turned into a slasher film or something. Like there's someone trying to kill everybody. Okay. Um and then this one, okay, this is a bit more post, a bit more composed. Okay. And then you have that. I did not zoom in because it's already zoomed in enough. So okay. And then okay. So that's the family photos that we have. Um Before I show you the location where they actually shot this, let's look at some of our emotional support pics. So he voted. I hope everyone voted as well. Especially the ones that are in California, please vote. Make sure that your vote gets counted. So sorry, not V, but Jin actually voted. He was photographed right after he cast his vote. Okay. Okay, there's your second picture of Jin. Mhm. Okay. This is a throwback into one of the hairstyles that he did um PTD, I think. Okay. And there's your sugar eating. I love this photo. It's actually a series of him eating, but I decided to do just two of each. Okay, because this one's funny, this one's serious. Okay. And this was taken by EC. This is a photographer. He has um an IG page. I link it in the description box. Yoongi looks like he's doing no carbs. It looks like it, yeah. So salad and then that's I would assume beef. So yeah, he's probably doing no carbs. He did say that he gained weight. When was that? He was saying something like, "Oh, I gained weight. You have to gain weight too." I can't remember who he was talking with, but he did say that he gained weight. So he lost it. He lost weight before the tour, and he said that he's gaining them back. Okay, they're halfway through their US tour. You have J Hope. This was posted by him, by the way. J Hope. And then there's so to everyone who attended the Vegas stop, I actually wanted to go here. Before we go home, I wanted to go here. But it was gonna take me. So this is in Arizona. It was gonna take me another like 5.5 hours to get to reach. This is the Antelope Valley, I think. So it was gonna take me another 5.5 hours to get there if I don't stop. And then which I would have to. So that's probably gonna stretch to like 6 hours. And then another 6 or 7 or 8 hours going back to LA. So I decided to abort that because I'm the only one who's gonna be driving. But I wanted to come here, but it's such a beautiful place. So and then the other thing is that it was really very hot. And we won't be able to leave Debak in the car if it's that hot. The car that I have has climate control, but I mean, if we hike here, I don't know how long we're going to be spending in there. So I was like, oh, maybe we can just wait until the weather is better. Okay. But I wanted to come here. They said it's really, really beautiful. And of course, RM did say that he went to a theme park with Jin while they were in Las Vegas. So this is the picture that we're taking of them. I don't know how this to actually survive it. But we know that Jin himself loves doing theme parks. So I wasn't really surprised about Jin. I was surprised about RM going with him. Um, you could have connected with Hobie on his private jet. Yeah. Okay. And then more. So this was posted actually, I think, by RM. This was posted by RM. So beautiful shot of him. Okay. Next, you love this photo. I love it too. They look so happy, like they're actually having fun. I actually love hearing and seeing them do other things while they were on tour. I remember I mentioned this in the last live stream, but J Hope did say that it's actually doing them good that they're actually able to do other things during the tour as opposed to before when they were just working during the tour. So they're enjoying it way more now. Okay, so and then we have a close up of the braids of Jimin. I love it. Okay, I hope he does it again, or maybe a different kind of braid style, maybe next time. But I love it. I love the braids. And this is a photo of him without the braids. Okay. That is the Vegas roller coaster. Carla said that's the Vegas roller coaster. Okay, and then V with a little bit of his abs. Okay, so there's his abs for you. I did not do any kind of Photoshop. It's just really flat. Okay, that's your V for you. Second photo of V is here. There you go. One more. That's from Nuna V. This is from is it from Nuna V? I don't oh no no no. It is not from it's from Apple V. But this one's from Nuna V. Next and then we have of course Jungkook. All right. So this is a new fan base. If you see this sign, it's a new fan base. So he's pretty new. I think he started this year or probably middle of last year. Yeah. Okay. Favorite photo of JK's hand on Tess shoulder picture number 4. Picture number 4. Oh, the family photo you mean. Okay. And then another photo of Jungkook. I hope I could see a little bit more of the tattoo. I know that he's enhancing it. He's making some changes so but he has been wearing long sleeves so we really can't see. I hope we could see a little bit more of that. He showed it a little in his own vlog when he after he took a shower. But I hope that there's like a photo where we can actually like have a better look of the tattoo and the changes that he's making. But I'm excited to actually see it. Okay. Um all right. Now for Busan. If ever any of you is still hoping to get a ticket, they will be releasing new tickets in Busan. So they held some tickets and they're going to be releasing them, and they also are going to be taking back some of the fraudulent tickets that they have that were bought. So FYI. So that is going to be released tomorrow. So just go to Null World, NOL World. That's the official ticketing partner that they have in South Korea, and it will be released June 4, Korea Standard Time, 7 p.m. Okay, so what time is it? So just in case you want us, it's 8:30 a.m. right now, June 4. So it is 7 p.m. June 4, Korean Standard Time. So in case you're still hoping to get a ticket, this is your chance. Make sure that you're logged in and that you're waiting at 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time, June 4. Okay. So I hope that you guys get a ticket. Okay, so for Singapore, it was a whole mess. I wasn't really like super eager to have a ticket for Singapore, which is probably why I took it easy. It would have been an entirely different matter altogether if I was really hoping to get a ticket there. But I was on queue. My queue number was 9,000, like 9,008 or something like that. It was okay. I think I was feeling pretty good about it. And then when it was my turn, they locked me out saying that there is a suspicious activity in my account and kicked me out. Wouldn't allow me to log in, which was absolutely nuts. So um it was a little frustrating, but as I've said, only because I thought it was a good number, like 9,000 is a good number. But they kicked me out and they wouldn't let me in again. So I just gave up. I thought like whatever. Yeah, it wasn't really like, as I've said, I wasn't super eager to get it. But apparently, there was a scalper who got several scalpers who got like hundreds and hundreds of tickets, and now they're selling up to 23 times the original price of the ticket. It is still not, it's almost as bad as the one in the US, because some are selling front row, like row one tickets for like 16, 17,000 here in the US. So it's kind of similar to how they're doing it in Singapore. So it was just, as I've said, I was a little frustrated. It wasn't like I had to go to that concert. It's just that I thought I had a good chance of getting a good seat because it was 9,000. They kicked me out, and then you see this. So it was frustrating that somebody like me, who would have really just watched, I wasn't really selling, I wasn't going to resell or anything. I was, if had I gotten good tickets, I would have watched, just me, I just really would have watched. But they would kick me out, and someone would get more than hundreds and 200 and 300 tickets, pieces, like number of tickets, and then resell it to armies for this price. Had it been me, I would have bought four and I would have just resold it for at face value. So it is absolutely, absolutely horrible. I don't know what they're doing. Um, yeah, but just it's unbelievable, unbelievable what they're actually doing. So I am very thankful that it wasn't like my first choice. That Singapore wasn't my first choice. As I've said, I just wanted to get, I just wanted to get some tickets and see if I could actually watch BTS. And the reason I actually wanted to get tickets in Singapore was I plan on visiting the Philippines right around December. So I thought before going home, I drop by Singapore, watch the concert, and go home to visit my family. But there you go. So there's your price. So VIP tickets, they were originally priced at 388 on Ticketmaster, and now they're being resold to 8,969. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And Ticketmaster is not doing anything about this. I can't understand. I can't understand why they would block somebody like me, kick out someone like me, who I would assume in their record has they've already seen that I would buy one, two, three tickets for myself every stop. They would kick me out and then they would allow scalpers like this come in. It does not make sense. Does not make sense. So I feel so bad for armies whose first choice is this one. I feel so bad for armies who were actually so in Malaysia, the queue was 1.2 million. Someone actually recorded while they were on queue, and there were like 1.2 million people on queue. So how did they not detect bots of those scalpers? I have absolutely no idea. And why would they think that I am a bot? That's the big question, right? The only suspicious thing that I did was open another tab, but it's for another date, which they specifically said is okay. So I had two tabs open, one on the first day and one on the last day. So I thought, and I even checked it, and they said, yeah, it's okay for you to have multiple tabs open for as long as it is for different days. That was the only suspicious thing that I did. Other than that, I have this is the same computer that I've been using to buy tickets, and then they would allow scalpers like this. It's not fair for armies, and they would be selling these tickets to armies. It's not fair. So I don't know. It's just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Um Okay, so I don't know I feel so bad for armies that in Asia. For Malaysia, they had 1.2 million on queue. I mean, and they had two dates for Malaysia, 1.2 million on queue, and then two dates. I mean, what can you do, right? So, okay, so that's the story. I'm gonna try for maybe Bangkok. I'll see if I can get some tickets in Bangkok, and I'll definitely try for my home country, the Philippines, which is another headache and a half. Um, Now, the same thing could happen. So, you look very healthy today. Thank you. Fat? Does that mean fat? Okay. So I don't know, to armies that are counting on getting tickets in Singapore. I feel so bad for armies that will have to pay this much. It does not 388 made it 8900. When I got the notification that there was a suspicious that they track a suspicious activity on my account, they were asking me to transfer to another, like change location. And I was isn't that absolutely horrible? Like, you would want me to move to another location after queuing up for 30 minutes. You want me to move to another location and then rejoin the queue? It does not make sense. Okay, when is Manila tickets opening for sale? The 10th. I heard that you can get 8 tickets for the Philippines. I don't know about that. I'm just trying to get two for each day. Just me and someone else. So either me and my daughter, or me and my cousin, or me and my mom. Um, can't Big Hit do something about it? They absolutely should. This is not normal. This is not fair in any way, shape, or form. Why would they allow this? It's just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Okay. Now, this is the location where BTS actually took their photos, their family photo. It's in Palo Alto, and it's peer space. So a lot of people were wondering if it is the same house that they rented, because in when they did their Stanford, they didn't stay in a hotel. They actually rented a an apartment. So a lot of people were wondering if this photos were actually taken in the same location. I doubt it. I don't think this is the house that they rented for the members, but this is how it looks like. It's actually listed in peer space, and it is 450 per hour if you want to rent it. And there's a minimum of 2 hours. I think some fans are scalpers. They probably need one ticket and bought four. It could be. Fairy Lane, yes. Ticketmaster said same to me, even to go outside to try and connect after being blocked. Crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, as I've said, had it been my first choice, like the venue that I would want to go, I would be very, very upset. I really would be very upset. But it was just like, oh, maybe I can get a ticket. if I get a ticket, and there was even a condition in my head, like I would either get a really good floor ticket, like in the first 10 rows, or none at all. That was the condition that I had for myself. Or maybe see like 100 level tickets front row, I would get that. So, but anyway, okay, spilled milk. I hope the Ticketmaster, I hope that Big Hit does something about this. This is not normal. I hope they get the tickets back. I hope they get it back, they suspend it, because this is not normal. It's just okay. All right. So the venue that where they actually took the family photo is listed in Pier Space. It's 450 per hour, minimum of 2 hours if you want to take your family photos there. This is how it looks like. So I don't think this is the same apartment where they stayed for their Stanford concert. Okay. But it's still beautiful though. It's a Spanish style 1927 house. Uh, okay, there you go. Still beautiful. So I'm assuming that they took more photos here. I don't think that those were the only photos that they took. Although, I mean, what can you do in 2 hours, right? But oh, maybe they rented it for the whole day. Who knows? But okay. So, but I'm assuming that we're going to be seeing more photos from them from this location. Um, Okay, so that's the kitchen. I do remember that someone, was it Jimin, who posted a photo of him cooking in the kitchen where they stayed for their Stanford concert. It doesn't look like this. So I don't think so. And then the other thing is that this place actually do not look like it's actually like lived in, that you can actually live in it. Although who knows, right? So, but anyway, I'm anticipating we'll be getting more photos. Okay. Okay, and then here's another one. Beautiful place, by the way. That's the living room. It's an old house. There's definitely ghosts there. Yeah, it's at 1927. Beautiful kitchen, by the way. So out there, dirty kitchen. Okay. All right. More of that. There's a pool. Maybe they swam. Who knows? Okay. Oh, beautiful. um, do you want to go down? It's getting. Say bye. Say bye, baby. Say bye bye. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is a stone oven. There you go. A stone oven. Okay. And then you have a pool. Beautiful pool, by the way. Why do I do this? He's back in his favorite bed under mine. Beautiful swimming pool, by the way. Okay. Usually, if you rent a place like this in Pier Space, you can use any part of the house. Um, maybe they swam. Who knows? Okay, that's where they took their the first photo that we saw. Okay, so that's the place that they took the where they took the family photo. So I think it's definitely not where they actually stayed. Okay. And someone just sent me this one. Someone on X actually sent me this one. I've seen this photo before. It was just that I've forgotten about it. It was just very cute. You have your soap there. Okay. Cute photo. This was circa 2015, maybe 2014. Maybe 2014. Okay. And then the head of Global Citizens Movement actually posted a video and a thank you note to armies who raised some funds for as for the FIFA in their partnership with FIFA for the scholarship for children. So I think armies raised 60,000 or something like that. The last time I've heard was the update on the figure. It was 40, and that was like weeks ago. So I'm assuming that not weeks ago, but probably a week ago. So I'm assuming that it went up to like maybe 50, maybe 60. But he posted a video thanking armies for actually raising some funds. So if you have time, please go to his page just to, say you're welcome. But he was talking about like how powerful armies are as a fandom. Okay. So feel happy about that. Okay. Do you have questions about any of that before we proceed? Was anyone able to order BTS Oreos through the Oreos website? I ordered twice. They canceled it twice already. I'm gonna try another time. Oh, it's sold out already. So I don't know. Maybe Walmart. I don't know. So, but I haven't tried it because they keep on canceling my order. Please like the video. Okay. So, all right. Now, um, for the topic was actually inspired by the continuous decline of K-pop stocks. So I haven't checked it today. And it actually started because someone on X and Facebook started talking shit about HYBE, the stocks declining and stuff like that. That's normal. It's volatile. It's the stock market. That's just the nature of stock market. However, the truth is that although it is true that it has been in decline, all the other companies are actually declining. Although it's this one specific one seems to be connected. It seems to be very much K-pop focused because if you look at Samsung or Hyundai, they're doing fine. So it doesn't seem to be connected to the geopolitical tension happening between the US and South Korea. And as you know, whatever happens in the US, South Korean market and their economy feels that because of the partnership and because of because many of the investors on South Korean market are actually US funds. But given that other companies are not getting affected, it seems to be specifically happening to K-pop. And a lot of people were wondering, especially the haters, they're pointing at BTS being unable to lift the or save HYBE, because BTS is just expected to end wars, to end famine, to educate everybody in the world. That's just the expectations when it is BTS. Okay, so if you look at the stock market, it has been on a decline in the last 6 months. So, but the one thing that we do need to remember is that HYBE is actually the biggest management company, entertainment company in South Korea. So the mere fact that their numbers, their decline is not actually far from the decline of others. So, for example, YG's decline in the last month is 19%, JYP is 11%, SM is 19%, and HYBE is 17%. That's a good sign. For HYBE to actually only be declining 17% versus the 19% of SM and YG, that's actually a good sign. Of course, JYP is doing even better at 11%. You go 6 months, it's even worse. So for YG, it's 26.75%, and then JYP 19%. And then SM Entertainment, I think, is HYBE is 28%, YG is 31, JYP is 19, and SM is 26.75. So for YG to actually decline 31% and for HYBE to decline only, I mean, if you compare it to YG at 28%, they're not doing so bad. So anyway, so the question is, if the other stock market, if other stocks, other companies, other sectors are not as affected, you are more inclined, if you're an investor, you are more inclined to believe or kind of come into a conclusion that this is more um about the K-pop industry, about the entertainment industry than anything else, right? Because if it is, as I've said, broader political or geopolitical condition, then other stocks would also be affected. But that has not happened. So the question is why? Why are investors pulling out of the entertainment companies instead of going back in, given that BTS is actually doing really well? At this, I think at this stage, we all know that the there is no question that BTS can actually sell out stadiums. They've done that repeatedly. So there's no question about that. Everyone knows that they can compete head to head, shoulder to shoulder with the giants in the industry, global music industry, from Drake to U2 to Taylor Swift. I'm not saying that they are bigger than any of that. What I'm saying is that they can compete, right? Okay. So given all of that, why are investors not investing more on BTS? There's a lot of possible reasons. But one is that I mean, BTS future is not in Korea as Miss. Okay, yeah. So, do you want to go out? Okay, let me just get him out of the room. Okay, so the question is why, right? So, if BTS is doing well, why are people not investing in the K-pop industry all that much? Well, because there's been in the last since BTS's return, or actually even before BTS's return, HYBE, Big Hit, and now BTS are making some moves that are giving people or giving the industry a hunch that the future of BTS, their future operations would most likely be more global. I'm not saying US only, but more global as opposed to being centered in South Korea. Okay. So that means that many of the things that HYBE and Big Hit are doing are geared towards moving from North America than moving from South Korea. So um, that is then investors, specifically US funds, which are the biggest investors in any business in South Korea, they're now thinking, well, if that is going to happen, if you're going to be making if you're going to be holding more operations in North America, then maybe investing in South Korea is not the best move for them at this moment. So that's one. Second is that in the last, let me see if I can show you. Um, so there have been a lot of groups that have been going on tours. And the assumption that one of the reasons they're actually going arena rather than theaters like ESPA, I've the reason they're doing that is a reaction to the success that they experienced back in 2021, 2022, 2023, where many of their concerts actually did well. They don't necessarily Lisa PF Frampton. Hi Lisa. Um I just recently discovered your channel and just want to tell you thank you for all your time and thank you. Hi Lisa, welcome to the community. Please join us on Patreon. Okay, so many of this they're actually doing because it is a reaction to the success that they experienced in 2022, 2023, 2024, maybe even. And during that time after the pandemic, people were very much eager to spend, right? Number one, especially in North America, we had the money to spend because we were getting assistance from the government. And then after being holed up in our homes or wherever we were for 2 years, of course, people are going to want to splurge on luxury, on concerts, on travel, whatever. And now we don't have the money anymore. People don't have the money anymore. The economy is not doing so well for a lot of people. Uh, the salary is not going up, but prices of goods are going up, and so people are becoming more picky. In other words, we're kind of going back to normal. Okay, and Meaning, normal meaning, we're now learning to set up our priorities again. Here's another one. So this is ESPA. And here is IVE. Okay. So 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 a lot of investors are seeing this performance. They're seeing the reception of North America to many South Korean groups. And one of the realization is that BTS is in a vacuum, meaning this they are the exception. Whatever success that they are experiencing, it is a BTS success, not a K-pop success. Now, for the last 3, 4 years, 5 years, maybe even 10 years, every success of BTS have been packaged by Korean media as a K-pop success, right? Like, oh, they became famous because of K-pop, because of this, whatever. Now, investors are realizing, oh, wait a minute, maybe it's not. Maybe this is just BTS success. And there were some, so I will be giving you some hints. The rest I'm just going to be discussing in the members only live stream because my friend made it very, very clear that there are only some things I'm allowed to talk about. So one of which was actually came from Suga. And this he said in his documentary. He said that one of his dreams is actually to travel the world and schedule sessions with local musicians who specialized in their traditional instruments. It's my dream to record them and make my own music based on that. So a lot of people are anticipating that the new chapter of August D will be this one. He's not going to, because he did mention that August D, that version of August D is done. Like he is not coming back anymore. Not that August D is not coming back anymore, but that version of August D is not coming back anymore. So a lot of people are anticipating that this is where he's actually going to be moving, Suga. And when he does this, he's most likely going to do it both as a performer and also as a producer. And they are anticipating that Suga is going to start working more with other global artists. So it all boils down. And when you have a global operations like that, most likely his home, his headquarters is going to be the North America headquarters rather than anything else because it's going to be just easier, primarily because a lot North American companies have a lot of bilateral. The US has a bilateral agreement with many other countries, so it's going to be easier for him to do business that way. So that's one clue that they very much clearly provided as to where they are going. I am very excited if he does this. I kind of forgot that he mentioned this in his documentary, but I did mention to you guys that this is actually one of the things that I want them to do. Like BTS, I want BTS to do that is to go to different countries and sort of work with different local musicians and make music with sort of do a collab, not sort of, but do a collab with established traditional musicians in that country. So it looks like that is the next step for Suga. So okay, Suga is an interesting person, a very very interesting person. Okay, and then um, now there are other members of BTS like Jungkook, um, V, okay, V, and then Jimin. These three actually were the ones who specifically mentioned that they will be thinking about their solo projects later. They did mention they all agreed, like very clearly, they all agreed that they're going to be doing their um their solo projects, but they're going to be doing it later. So there is an indication that there are plans to do their solo projects. Now, to many people, like a lot of Korean fans, or like many armies, would actually brush that aside and say that, oh, they're probably not even planning for it now. They don't have anything concrete right now. My bet is actually it is the opposite, that these people actually have very concrete plans already, or at least like a good foundation on when they're going to be pursuing their individual activities. Maybe while they are doing BTS activities. But regardless, I do think that they have a much better idea on when that's going to happen than we do. And the move of BTS of Big Hit to appoint very strategic people in HYBE America can actually provide us a clue on where that is going. So they did appoint a new person for HYBE Weavers. So there are discussions or speculations, actually not really discussions, that Weavers is going to get into ticketing eventually, most likely splitting, um, most likely providing VIP experience, so VIP tickets to a limited number of armies, and then or other fans like members of the fan club, and then give the rest to Ticketmaster. So that's one speculation. That's the first step towards ticketing, and then they're going to be doing their own concert promotion. So right now it works, how it works is that when they partner with Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. So Ticketmaster is the one that's in charge of ticketing, but Live Nation is the one that's in charge of promotion. That means Live Nation is actually the one putting in the money to put this concert together, but they also have a cut in that. Now, one speculation is that Weavers is going to take a more active part in this and then eventually do their own promotion. Once they develop the technical capacity, and that's going to take a long time, they're probably going to take over ticketing altogether. But most likely, the next step is to share concert promotion activities first with promoters like Live Nation, and then do part of the ticketing, and then eventually take it over. And then there are specialized content that they are going to start doing. I'll give you more details in the members only live stream. They did appoint the former chairwoman of Motown to become the president of music of HYBE America, and that's very telling because she has a good grasp of the music industry in the U.S. She also has a good grasp of the distribution. So these are all indications that HYBE America will most likely be taking on more things in the next 5 years. And now they have Cat's Eye. They also have the new group Saint Santine. So they have two groups right now, but most likely the individual promotions of BTS members and other members of other artists under HYBE will also be taken on by HYBE America. Okay. Um, so they also have forged very strategic partnerships with different companies like Netflix and YouTube. So, and Spotify. A lot of people are actually wondering why they are performing in iHeart. And that is actually one of the reasons they are doing that promotion. While why they're actually doing the festival with iHeart is to continue growing the partnership with radio in the US. So a lot of people don't see radio going away in the next 10 years, especially its influence on the chart. And so it is better if they just forge a partnership. That is why they're actually going to participate in the iHeart Music Festival because they're the biggest radio station in the US. And then you have partnership with companies like Netflix and YouTube, who's going to be distributing many of their content in the US. Okay. Um, next. They also partnered with many US producers, American producers. And I personally think that the partnership was first and foremost motivated by who they really want to work with. And that even Diplo actually mentioned that whoever they worked with were actually the conditions were requested by BTS themselves. So BTS would actually tell him who they want to work with, and he'll try to get that producer in the studio. That's how it worked. But if you would remember, the planning, according to BTS, started even while they were in the military. They started planning, or at least they gave the go signal to their agency to start planning once Jin was discharged. They had a meeting. I'm sure you know the story. They had a meeting. They were all crying and they decided, okay, we're just going to try and do an album as fast as we could right after discharge. So a lot of people anticipated, or at least one of the speculations of investors is that the decision to do the initial camp, this is the camp that happened before BTS did their own camp. This was the camp that Diplo was talking about, where he prepared 80 ideas, almost all of which were discarded by BTS. The reason they decided to do it in the US and to get an American producer was to establish partnerships with different respected creators in the US. Okay. Um, Next. Is BTS's partnership with Disney Plus over now? I think it has been over. I think the deal was five shows and it's done. So probably. Okay, so yeah, so they're going to be doing the iHeart Music Festival primarily because they want to establish that partnership with US Radio. So all of this put together points to one thing, that BTS is really making a move towards making their operation global rather than local to South Korea. And that is one of the reasons many investors are starting to hold up, to step back and actually rethink how they're putting their money in South Korea, specifically in the entertainment industry. So that's one. Now let's look at, given that I'll be providing more details to the um, members only live stream on Friday because I did not get the approval to give you to broadcast many of the things. But I hope that gives you a clearer idea on where BTS is headed and on the indicators that investors are looking at when making a decision on how to invest their money in South Korea. Okay. Questions before I move on to K-pop, but this is still connected to that. Where is my K-pop? That does sound clearer to me. iHeart is the only station I hear BTS and K-pop songs on. Yeah, iHeart. Well, they are the biggest in America, and by a lot. Um, there are other minor ones. The other thing that I would actually want Hybe and Big Hit to work on would be radio stations of retail companies. So real estate companies. Well, they are a real estate company, like Walmart. Um, those chains, Walmart, Ross. I can't remember the name of the mother company of Ross. It's owned by the same group, Ross, Marshalls, all of those people. So there is an umbrella company that owns all of those companies. All of those stores, and they actually have their own radio station. So if you get a spin by Walmart, for example, um, that's how many stores around the US. So Ralph's have their own radio station. They report, by the way, their spins to Billboard. So those are also very important. So I hope they start working on their relationship with that. Target, they have their own. Starbucks have their own. So yeah. Um I can understand South Korea's stand. I feel that globally, BTS are loved. I just hope with all my heart that they will not get political. I hate that so much. I don't think they will. They've actually stayed out of it for the most part. I haven't listened to radio. Will BTS come under Hive America? No, they're under Big Hit, which is a private company fully owned by Hive. But Hybe America is most likely going to take care of their advertising and marketing. The partnership is actually the distribution is actually with Universal. Okay. Any other question before I move on to K-pop? Um, I thought Hybe was getting into podcasts, not radio. Was I wrong on that? No, the show that they have on Spotify is actually on. So the first season, I think, is Enhypen. I haven't listened to it, although that's on my bucket list. I haven't listened to it, but they do have a podcast show in partnership with Spotify. So the first season is Enhypen. It's actually horror stories or something like that. Try to listen to it. If there's any Enhypen fans here, try and listen. I Is it true that South Korea really need to appreciate? Okay. I think all of us are being dragged into the political forum without us agreeing to it. If Hyde plans, if Hyde plan goes through and BTS goes to global, what will South Korea say when they no longer see dollars from BTS? Um, it that is going to be very challenging. So one of the reasons one of the reasons South Korea is sort of trying to revive their Hallyu efforts is that many of their IP, the prominent ones like Squid Games, for example, those are now owned by a US company. Those are all owned by Netflix. But that's of course obviously Korean art, Korean culture, but it's owned by Netflix. And primarily because they haven't really been investing in many of their content. So instead of investing in when the owner of Squid Game started shopping around for someone that will invest on his idea, no one would take it. So he didn't have a choice. He went to Netflix. Netflix agreed. They own all of the IPs, and the director and the creator of the show got paid. The reason he said, and he said this specifically because he just got paid, like he didn't get any kind of residual in season one. And he said that the reason he decided to do season two was to get money. So a lot of it, and that's not just that's not happening just on Squid Games, but on everything. And they're doing the same thing to BTS. Instead of assisting BTS, instead of helping BTS, they're trying to pull them down. The same way they're trying to they turned away many of their opportunities. Okay, so um now that South Korea is kind of realizing, oh, we invested on our Hallyu in our cultural efforts. Now it's America that's benefiting from it. Now, you can't totally blame a corporation like Netflix. The same way you can't blame a corporation like HYBE in trying to find a way on how they can push their IPs because that's what they are there for. Okay. So, if they continue trying to hold back BTS will have, or Big Hit for that matter, Big Hit will have no choice but to look for ways on how they can continue growing without being held back by South Korea. So we've already seen what they did in Gwangwamon. Instead of helping push people in South Korea, they did their very best to keep people out of Seoul. so so it's really not the kind of support that you would want from your own government. So now that naturally the inclination of BTS is to go global, and then you have a government that's pushing you away, you will have no choice, right? And if that happens, that then a lot of the IPs, a lot of the earnings will most likely go to the US. Okay. Next, are they able to stop or correct already bought ticket merch by scalpers? I hope they do. They're doing it in South Korea, so I hope that they do. If SK won't support their talent, others will. Okay, so all right. So in connection to that, um, I'm going to show you some stats that would indicate how K-pop in general is actually not going up, it's actually declining. And although I am actually apprehensive about calling it decline because I feel like it's just really just us going back to normal. As I've said, the 2022, 2023, maybe first half of 2024, those were abnormal times because that's when things started going back to normal. People were so eager to spend and we had the money to spend. So I think that stage, that part of their history, K-pop history, is actually a little abnormal. Now is when things are starting to go back to normal. Okay. So but first, so Billboard mid-year um box score, put 17 on top. So this is from October to March 31, 2026. Okay? October 1 to 2025 to March 31, 2026. 17 is still leading with 88.1 million, and this is global, not US only. And the total attendance for all of their shows is 574,000 with 25 shows. Twice did 28, and they had 434,000 audience, and they earned 58.3 million. Okay. TXT did 20 shows, and they are number 3 with 412,000 attendees and revenue of 53 million. Okay. Now, I think the key is in looking both, it's really more on the average. Like, for example, 17 did get 88.1 million, but 25 shows. So average that and you'll get a better idea on how much you should be pricing 17's shows, if that makes sense. Do that for everyone. So if TXT got 53 million revenue with 20 shows, average that and see where they're going to land in terms of ranking. Number four is AT's, 11.5 million. They did 9 shows. I don't think that they did in North America. And then they sold 58,500 tickets. And then NHYPEN is number five, 9.5 million, 52.5 thousand, 52,500 tickets with 6 shows. NHYPEN is now about to begin their North American concert. They still have tickets. So if you want, you can still buy some. Okay. This is the top 100 of box score for mid-year, but the lead of Lady Gaga over Bad Bunny is actually very, very slim. But she still ended up being number one. But anyway, that's just to give you an idea on the whole top 100 for 2026. Okay, and then top promoters, it's still Live Nation, but I'm sure that you've already heard that at number six, it's HYBE. So the mere fact that they are in partnership with Live Nation is very, very difficult to dethrone. As you know, they have they dominate the live concert industry in the US. But the mere fact that HYBE still managed to land at number six is a good sign. And that is a sign, as I've said, one of the signs of many that many investors are taking to mean that HYBE is actually geared towards global operation more than they are local operation. Okay, local in South Korea. CORTIS will be big. I am pretty sure that they will be big. Okay, and then oh, okay. So I discussed that. This is just the details. So for 17s, 574,000, 25 shows revenue 88.1 million twice, 434,000 shows, 28 shows revenue 58.3 million, and then TXT 412,000 tickets sold shows there, and they did 20 shows. Okay. Now, let's look at that's for the 2026 figures for the shows. Now for album sales, it's on a decline. Okay. So they peaked in 2023, I think. So from I hope that you can see it clearly. So 2019, this is the total units sold. So total units, okay, number of albums that were sold. It's 24 million in 2019, and then then it just continued going up until it reached 74 million in 2022. 2023 is 115 million. And then it started declining. In 2024, it went down to 92,000. And then in 2025, it went down further to 90,000. So it's declining. That's the bottom line. There is a bigger concentration on the top 10. So, for example, for 2024 and 2023, the top 10 groups that sold more albums, they sold like 70% of the total number of albums sold. So, although there are more K-pop acts that are trying to go global, the support is concentrated on the top 10, maybe top 20. Okay. So, in other words, it's not good because it's declining. Okay. The album sold. In terms of monetary value, we went from 209,000 back in 2020, back in 2021, 209,000. Now we got to 301 million. Sorry. So 209 million back in 2021 and then 301 million back in 2025. Now, the problem is that it looks a lot, but if you figure in inflation, that's not a lot. So there's still some sort of increase in terms of revenue, but a huge chunk of that is really just inflation. And then if you equate the number of groups that are trying to go global, that are exporting their albums to the number of increase in revenue, it does not match. So in other words, they're still not doing as well. With the amount of groups that are trying to promote in the US and in other parts of the world, they should be earning more. Um, from millions to thousands. No, millions. I made a mistake. So for 209 million back in 2021, that's the revenue for albums sold. And then in 2025, it's 301 million. So there's an increase of 100 million. So in like initial, if you hear it first, it sounds like it's good, but then you have to consider inflation. And then if you equate the number of acts that are trying to go global to the amount of increase of money, it is not a good indication. Okay. Um, Unpopular opinion, Cortis fans don't use BTS to hype up their faves like Bigger Than and Did Surpassed. Anyhow, Green Green is the best fifth gen song. I agree. I agree. Okay, their fans are really different. I mean, there are armies that are also cores, but they have their own fan base that are just theirs, not shared by with BTS. Okay, so that's for annual sales. Now, um, these are the number of albums that sold more than 1 million copies. And look at that drop in 2023. So from 2019 all the way to 2023, there were more and more groups that were selling more than 1 million copies of their album. 2024, it just dropped. I think 2024 and maybe 2025, I think it was just like, I don't know, like the top five that actually sold more than a million copies. So you probably have like Stray Kids, 17, NCT probably. Um, and Hyphen that sold more than a million copies, as opposed to 2022, 2023, where almost like there were more than 30 groups that were selling more than 1 million copies of their album. So the dive is just intense. It's so deep. Like people are wondering why are, whenever I look at the numbers of like for example girl groups, they're barely hitting like half a million, some are barely hitting 100,000. I'm thinking that's just the normal one, like the growth that we experienced in 2022, 2023, that's the abnormal one. So I think we're actually going back to normal. When did China ban group album purchase? 2020, 2021, 2021. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. BTS was still active. So 2019. Okay. Selling because of the sheer amount. Okay. Now, so let's keep that in mind. Let's spin that. Let's keep that in mind so that because I'm going to connect that to what has been happening in the US. So, despite the number one thing to consider is that there are hundreds upon hundreds of groups that are promoting outside the US. So, outside Korea. So, even though there is an increase in revenue of 100 million, it does not it does not equate to the number of groups that are starting to promote in the US. Okay. In 2009, the other thing that we are going to be looking at would be the concert industry. So the very first, it's arguable who is the first K-pop group that started touring or started having a concert in the US. What is clear though is that one of the clearest big breakthrough of K-pop in the US is Wonder Girls, which happened back in 2009 because of their song Nobody But You. Okay, or Nobody. Okay, so it was a hit in the US. It wasn't as big of a hit as Gangnam Style. Maybe if at that time it had been promoted the way Gangnam Style had been promoted, maybe it would have become bigger. But they were the very first group that actually entered Hot 100. They toured the US through Jonas Brothers. So they actually opened for Jonas Brothers in the Jonas Brothers tour in the US. So they were the first clear sort of breakthrough. Although it is a novelty song, just like Gangnam Style. But still, if you talk like who is the first group that actually sort of introduced K-pop to many ordinary listeners, it would probably be Wonder Girls. Okay. All right. So the very first tour, could I say tour? Probably tour, yeah. Probably US tour. The very first US tour was 21. They toured 3 cities, I think, in the US, and then Big Bang did it. Um, and then others followed like TVXQ, BOA. Yeah, I think so, something like that. But this is the number of acts that started touring in the US from 2012 all the way to 2026. So back in 2012, there were like 5 to 10 groups. So that included Big Bang, TVXQ. It's actually here. So this in 2012, Wonder Girls toured, JYJ, which is the 3 members of TVXQ that sued SM Entertainment. 21 was the very first one that actually formally toured, Big Bang, and then you of course have KCON. So back in 2012, you have 5 to 10 groups touring the US, and then it increased slowly from 5 to 10 to 8 to 12 to 10 to 15 to 15 to 20 until things stopped in 2019. So BTS started touring in 2015. 15. So 2015 is the Red Bullet tour. It was all theaters. Um and then they had Wings, and then they had Love Yourself. But right around 2015 was the very first time that they toured. So it continued growing and growing and growing until it everything stopped in 2020 because of COVID. Okay. There, I saw some question. Didn't the tour kill their SK momentum? Correct. Yes. Their US promotion actually killed their SK momentum. And it also tanked JYP. Okay. So 2019, 2020, everything stopped. 2021, barely anybody was doing any kind of show. And then it went back up in 2022. It picked up again because things went back to normal. Suddenly everyone can tour again. So you went 40 to 60, and then now in 2026 it's actually more than 100 touring, doing some sort of a show, doing some kind of a fan event in the US. So we only hear of the biggest ones, like of course BTS, Stray Kids. Twice we hear about all of them, like NHYPEN, NCT, Rise, we hear about them. But there are others, many, many more that are actually doing tours in the US that we don't know about because no one actually talks about them. But so this should give you an idea that despite the growth of the number of groups that are touring the US or doing any kind of outreach in the US, it is not congruent to the growth of revenue. So if you're an investor, you're going to look at that and say, okay, wait a minute. There's something like we have been pricing, we have been valuing K-pop based on the success of BTS. But if you look at the entire industry, only BTS is that successful. They haven't been able to SK has not been able to produce any other group that could come close to the success of BTS. So if you're an investor, you're going to start looking at it and say, wait a minute, I better start thinking about where I really want to put my money, right? Okay, so this is only a projection, just a projection on the amount of like the total value of K-pop in 2030. So they're saying that it's going to go up to 28.6 billion US dollars by 2032. Okay, so if we go back now to the investments, these are just some of the comments that you've seen this. If you saw that video of mine discussing the decline in stocks, then you've seen a lot of this already. So a lot of okay, here it's here, somewhere here. A lot of investors are now coming to realize that the value that they're putting on K-pop is all based on BTS. But thus far, no other group has been able to match the success or even come close to the success of BTS. All the other groups that people have been hyping, all the other groups that are popular in South Korea, they're not experiencing the same success in North America. So that's one of the reasons that many investors are actually starting to pull out of South Korea. Can it still be saved? Sure. But I personally think that they need another boost aside from BTS because investors are realizing BTS is an entirely different animal. They're they're their own animal, but they're not BTS. They're not K-pop. BTS is not K-pop. So if South Korea manages to produce another group or two or three, then investors are going to start going back in. But if they don't, then most likely investors are going to go to where BTS is. And so if BTS starts their operation, making HYBE America the center of their operation, most likely investors are going to go there. Um, okay, let me see if there's something. Do you have questions? This is ESPA. This is ESPA, and then this is IVE. Um, I think the market is very saturated. It is saturated. You know, I will argue against it. Well, I guess you're kind of right in saying that it is saturated because there are so many groups that are starting to promote in the US. But I would argue that all of these groups kind of look and sound the same. So you don't have enough variety of artistry and creative is uh, yeah, you don't have enough variety of art in front of you. Like I've mentioned this before, if you look at like Baby Monster and Blackpink and Meow, they're starting to look the same. And for a while, Le Sserafim actually started to look the same. It's just that now they're starting to break away. They're starting to find their own aesthetics. But for a while, they kind of look the same as well. So, although there seems to be a lot of groups that are promoting in the US, they all are starting to sound and look the same. Okay, next question. Um, it seems to be a fad to be a BTS hater whenever someone rises in fame. Yeah, well, true. Didn't the tour kill their momentum? Yes, it did. We must also, wow, 100 groups now. Who are these groups? I can give you. I'll post the list. Oh, I remember Bang Luna said you owe us a lot of like studies that I haven't. I said I will post on Patreon. Remind me. I keep on forgetting. I'll show you a list of some of the tours that K-pop groups actually have, but there's so many. A lot of them are actually like very small ones. And I will actually be discussing the strategy that HYBE is actually using with CORTIS. No matter how much time BTS spends in LA, they always say, I want to go home. I'm ready to go home. That says a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think they will forever consider South Korea their home, and they will forever be Koreans, and they will forever love their country and be proud of Koreans. But I think they know that the center of their operation, and by the way, they don't have to be in LA to make that their center of operation. I think that's they can just but I do think that HYBE is kind of like if you're being held back by your own country, most likely your tendency is to try and it's survival, right? It's just survival. They're gonna try and find a way on how they can continue growing without disrespecting their own country, um, and still being able to do what it is that you want to do, what is required for you to grow. It's so interesting how many people don't know Icon Love Scenario is a K-pop song. But they are all realizing they work better in LA, so there will be some compromise, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I do think that's they will probably have like a semi-permanent home in the US. Maybe, either the members themselves will buy a property or Big Hit will rent a property for the members to stay in when they are in LA. Um they are learning that there's no such thing as trickle down banktonomics. Yes. Um some of them are more than others. Jimin loves the US as does Hobie. Didn't Bang PD claim years ago that K-pop would decline? Um, well, he is right. He is right. How can I purchase Hybe Korea stocks? So they're looking for ways on how to do that. Someone already proposed that to allow foreigners to start buying stocks directly. Like you can actually open your own account in their stock market and buy. But it would be limited to a fund, not direct exposure. Meaning, as based on that proposal, you won't be able to buy HYBE stocks alone. You can buy a basket of stocks. So that's what we call the ETF. But it's one step closer. Um, yes, Fairly, I agree with your analysis about why investors are pulling out of music producers as a sector. I kept wondering why they did not distinguish between the companies stay with HYBE. They all seem to love the US, but there's no place like home. Both can be true at the same time. Yes. Okay. So let me see if there are any more questions before I move on to the do you think HYBE will fully shift their headquarters in America or maybe merge HYBE America and HYBE Corporation? I don't think they'll merge it. I think right now it is actually better for them to keep it separate. And I think they're kind of realizing that. But I think the operations of many of the promotions of the groups and the individual, any artists that are promoting in the US, a lot of that will come from the US. JK loves New York. JK New York. I feel that BTS members will never disown or leave their country. They may own a house in other countries. Jimin and Jungkook love Sweden or one of those countries too. I'm actually looking forward to hearing Jungkook just suddenly sharing that he stayed in Switzerland or Sweden or somewhere for 2 months because he said he wants to, right? But I want to know about it after, simply because I don't want Sassings to be able to follow him. Almost all the groups touring sounds and look the same. They're not reinventing themselves. They were sticking to what works within the K-pop genre. Right. Okay. Next. Any other question? Is HYBE opening stock market in the Western market? Not no word about that as of the moment. I think they eventually will. I mean, even Universal Music is kinda they're already starting to work. Universal Music is starting to work towards having their own stock, towards getting listed. Where is my slides? Okay. I agree. Every time I accidentally hear K-pop groups, either they sound very K-pop or oh, they're different. Cordis is one of the different ones. Okay. A lot of the numbers I will be presenting because I left out a lot. Say hi to my friend. He's actually listening right now because I was specifically told to only show you some of the numbers. Specifically the numbers that you can even that are already published. But there are some things that I will be sharing to the members only live stream on Friday. Um, no sound. Do you not hear me? Other can you are others able to hear me? Tehil said that she or he does not hear me. There is an advantage to keeping the hive separate. Yeah. Okay, so it is an advantage for them to keep them separate because then whatever happens as of the moment, whatever happens to Hive Korea, Hive America does not have any involvement in that. It's just a partner right now. It's not the same company. So it's like you can think of Hive America as you would of Big Hit. It's a private company. It's fully owned by Hive. So um, they are operating on their own. Hive America is operating on their own. It's 100% owned by Hive Korea, but it's still a separate company. Okay, you can hear me. All right. Great. Okay. So Cordis is actually doing a tour. Six of the nine venues that they have are actually in North America. I do think that there is a 90% chance that they're going to be announcing more locations, more venues, primarily I think after the ticketing. It is absolutely unbelievable that they will be booking 2,000, 3,000 capacity venue. I mean, I was actually telling my friend because I want to watch them. So I said I'm gonna try and buy some tickets from them. um, but I said this is going to be, probably going to remind me of BTS. It's going to be, it's going to be a blood bath. So I do think that after that, um, they are most likely going to add more dates and then probably do an encore for a bigger venue, maybe an arena for their encore. But I do think that the strategy is kind of sound for them because they're allowing, number one, the worst thing that you can do as of the moment is to book them in a bigger venue and for them to not fill it. It's going to tank their confidence, but it's also going to tank the confidence of their investors. Right? So as of the moment, it would be better for investors to see that it's sold out in 15 minutes. And it's better for the investor to say, hey, hi, or big hit, you should be booking bigger venues than for investors. As of the moment, it's better for the investors to say that than say, why did you big such a big why did you book such a big venue? Number two, they're building Cordis in the US. I think they're making the US the primary market of Cordis. And you do not want the US market to think, oh my God, this is another wannabe. So you want the US market to think, oh, they're on the rise. They were able to sell out their tours. That's the same strategy that they used for Cat's Eye. So I do think that this is the sound strategy and also the same strategy that they use for other groups that they have, including Islet. When Islet did their first tour, they were doing it in smaller venues. Okay, so but as of now, they have 9 dates: South Korea, Japan, and then North America. But I do think there's a 90% chance that they're going to be expanding this tour to more states and more dates, and probably do an encore for a bigger venue. That's what they did with BTS. Yes. So okay, let's go back to that. Where is that? Oh, so 2015 was right around the time that they did their first Red Bullet tour, and it was like 2000, 1000 venue, and then did the Wings tour with, yeah, on bigger venues. So yes, it's the same strategy that they're actually using. Um, Cordis are in much of the same venues as TXT's first tour. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Someone told me that they did the same thing for TXT. What do you think about the new global chart by Melon where ESPA beats BTS sustainable? I don't think anybody's going to. It's very obvious what they're trying to do. I mean, I'll give it to them. That's a brilliant, brilliant way of thinking. Um, it won't necessarily be credible, but hey, the one thing that astounds me is people is if they believe that pulling strategies like that would actually help them sell tickets in the US. I don't know. I don't think I don't know why they would think that. I am sure it's not going to help. Okay. Um Now for this are the venues I'm gonna try and do. I'm just gonna try and buy a ticket for any of that. But of course, my priority would be LA. YouTube theater is so small. That would be my priority. But if I fail there, I'm just gonna try on the other venues. But I'm gonna try and watch. So to everyone there that's gonna try and watch, let me know. I also want to try. Is there Las Vegas? Maybe Atlanta. I haven't been to Atlanta. I'll try and go there. So Atlanta would be a good one. I'll try New York. I'll try Irving. I'll probably try. I don't know. But let me know if anyone is actually trying. Is if anyone is gonna try to get tickets in any of these venues. Let me know. Okay. They are not deluded, not brilliant. I mean, I personally wouldn't think about that. Like, hey, let's create a chart that would specifically keep BTS out. I mean, okay, the Rose is going to go on tour again. Well, not again. This is their last. They're gonna go on hiatus after this, indefinite hiatus. They did promise that this is not the end. They said it's just going to be an indefinite hiatus. So if you can catch them, try and catch them. This is the last tour that they are going to be having in a while. Irving is local to me. Oh, hey, there you go. Cordis start with arena first, then grow slowly, avoid black curtains, and dragging by SM stands, stay humble, and Cordis fans, they're doing well. Um, okay, so Twice also has a finale concert. If anyone is actually interested, they have a finale concert in Seoul. Um, and then where is that? Espa's album is already selling at a huge discount. They discounted it, yeah. And I think it's primarily because they want to. So there is a prediction they're going to get into Billboard 200. I think they are aiming to go higher. So probably that's the reason. Pure Flow. So here, I'm going to show you. They still have a lot of tickets left on some venues. Not all of them, but on some venues. Specifically on their LA is low availability. So it's not, I wouldn't I recommend that you go there. Um uh okay, so that is where is that? Okay, that is okay, so here is San Jose. There's not a lot of availability. So don't go there. There is I can't see. It's too small. But anyway, so they have some venues that are almost completely sold out. LA is one of them, but there are also some venues that are not doing so well. So, however, this is the same rate. This is the same rate of sale they went with in their first tour. So the first time they went to the US, this also the same thing happened. In the first like 3 weeks, they were slow and then it slowly picked up. So let's see what's going to happen. We should look the tour up. They've been here before. The rows are linked. I wish HYBE would do a festival for their regional Mexican groups. I have been dying to see them live. I think they are great in Texas. Do you think Twice will slow down after the tour? I think they will concentrate for a bit for their on their solo music before they do another group. It's time to renew. So they're probably going to start renegotiating. Do you know what happens when conflicts and war scalable? I am inclined to agree with you, will agree with you if all the other stocks are getting affected. It's not. It's actually very concentrated. So far, it's concentrated on K-pop. But if you look at the other sectors, IT, manufacturing, Samsung, Hyundai, they're all doing very well. So this is more a K-pop issue rather than, of course, there are all those factors. If you are an investor, you're most likely going to be dropping entertainment first because those are not essentials as opposed to consumer goods. Those are essentials. Even with or without a war, people are gonna brush their teeth, so to speak. But the difference is big. So there is some affect. The geopolitical tension definitely affects it, but not that much because it's very concentrated. The decline is very concentrated on K-pop in entertainment industry. But if you look up Samsung, they're all doing well. So um 24/7, most people don't know that half of the United States was at one time Mexico. Okay, why are we talking about that? Let's not go there. I do not like where that's gonna go. Okay, so um, all right. So the where was I? Nope, that's not where I was. So Pure Flow, if you want to check out their concerts, the concert of Les Seraphim, we still have some. They still have some tickets available. But as I've said, try to pick the the places. Texas, Bang Luna, if you want to watch them. They still have a number of tickets available in many of their in some of their venues, but not all. Like New York, some of the ones that I showed you, and even in LA, they're almost sold out. So choose other ones. In Europe, they're actually almost all sold out. So okay, next. Oh, that's the Polestar number. Okay, that's it. Do you have questions? Some of these K-pop artists may be considering slowing down to focus on personal life. Most likely. So for Twice, it's now time for them to start discussing the renewal of their contracts. So they renewed for another 3 years. So they went up to 10 years from the initial 7 years. They went up to 10 years. So they're probably gonna start doing renewals. So rest and then renew and discuss the renewal and then decide from there. Um, is Twice doing better than BP? Yeah, I mean, in some respects, BP is doing better in terms of brand deals. They have better brand partnerships, primarily because the branding was better for the individual members. But in terms of sales, yes, they are doing better. Twice is doing better. Okay, on June, I have friends adjacent to the Destino. Who's Destino? um, Good. Twice are playing London yesterday and today. They've been here before. We should look up the tour. How do we get tickets for the LA tour? For the LA, four of us who want to sit on the floor or hundreds. What are we talking about here? Are you talking about okay, for iHeart, the ticketing service is AXS. It's not Ticketmaster. So if you want to get tickets for iHeart Festival, that's AXS. And then for for Cordis, they haven't announced who the ticketing service is, who's going to be the promoter. I have a feeling that they're going to be splitting it in half, the same way they're doing it for Enhypen and for Le Seraphim, where some of the cities, major cities, are actually with AXS and then the rest with Ticketmaster. When is the Busan concert? 12 and 13. 12 and 13. They have a 12th and they have a 13th, but there are tickets that are going to be released. Any news with Seattle for a pre-game show? No news yet. Yes, Twice doing better. Any Bicos there have more shows, concerts like BP have only 2 show concerts on Deadline Tour. Okay. So I don't think I have time to start another topic. I only have 13 minutes. So do you have questions before I froze? Am I okay now? I am back. Okay. I'm all good now. Bye, Lorena. If publicly listed entertainment agency stocks are dropping, imagine those privately held agencies, they are probably going bankrupt. It's not, that's not funny. It's not funny though. Okay. Um, okay. So all of this I've already discussed. I'm just going to discuss 2 more points with you. Okay. Um, yes, I'm back. Okay, perfect. So, it's just part of my beautiful and efficient platform that I use for broadcasting for doing my live stream. But so when is the media going to start seeing the numbers on BP don't match the hype? The media knows it. It's just that they they needed they needed someone to compete with BTS. It makes it sexier. It makes it sexier. So so the second at that time was big was Blackpink, because at that time um the the growth of TXT and the growth of Stray Kids were stunted by the pandemic. They debuted right before the pandemic. So BP was the next competition. So even though they know that, it is better to play it off that way so that it's more exciting with someone competing with BTS. What is the show going to be about? That will be live from Busan. That is the festa. So every year we have a festa for the anniversary. It's probably going to be they're probably going to be performing the same song, some songs from the concert, and then they usually have games, more interaction with armies because it's a anniversary as well. Plus, YG probably encouraged the media to place them with BTS. Yeah, their initial, like the initial release that they distributed on Spotify, Apple Music to different media companies actually mentioned BTS. I don't know if you know that. Like it's actually written. I still have screen caps of that where they actually showed um they actually said like, this is they're they are creating music better than BTS or similar to BTS. They are the next big act to BTS. They are following BTS. So it's all over. BTS is all over in their press releases. So yes. They definitely help. Where was the slide that I was going to show you? Okay, so now in terms of the IP, um, one of the major partnerships, one of the major things that happened or developed in this current tour of BTS is their partnership with ARI. Okay. Because that is way more than a part. It's not just an endorsement. It's an actual partnership where BTS actually helped in developing the product. Maybe not like really co-create, but they helped in developing the product. So ARI is actually being packaged as a collaboration between the company and BTS. So a huge ARI is paying a lot of money for to be a part of BTS, to be a part of the concert. But what that partnership does is that it opens a new type of partnership with a new company for tours, because now you're attaching a good um a food basically product that you can buy even after the show. You launch it with the group, so you enjoy all the marketing, you enjoy all the free PR with the store. You pay a lot of money, which you probably need to do regardless. So you might as well do it in a big grand way. I mean, you probably do need to spend that kind of money if you want to penetrate the same market, the same distribution as other big products actually have or enjoy, like Walmart, Target. With their partnership with BTS, it's easier for them because then the pitch is all about, this is the product that is in partnership with BTS. This is BTS's ramen. Okay. So this is actually monumental because of the success of this partnership. It's still ongoing, and a lot of the sales reports actually won't come in until most likely third quarter or maybe at the end of the year. But if this succeeds, it looks like it's going to succeed. Um, we can expect that this is going to be the model of many other groups moving forward. They will most likely be tapping into product partnerships, not just brand ambassadorship. Yes, so Oreo is actually one of them. Although Oreo is packaging this as a limited release. That's how they said it. It's going to be a limited release. Maybe because they want armies to want to get more of that. But yes, that's one of that as well. But for Addy, they are claiming that all the products that they have actually released, were all co-created by BTS. So they will always have that, even after the partnership is done. They will always have that selling point. This was the product that was co-created by BTS. So that is part of the IP distribution of BTS. So we can expect that this model moving forward will be something that other groups will be tapping into. So instead of just relying on ticket sales, um, they will also get product development partnership, not just brand partnership. So this is a major, major move. I'll discuss more of that in the um, members only live stream on Friday. But brilliant the way that they've actually done it, not just for BTS, not just for Big Hit, but for ARI as well. This type of partnership is pretty major for them. Your first time eating Oreo cookies. Okay. So, all right. So we have about 6 minutes. Do you have questions? I don't appreciate how an article is about BTS. Then there is a mention of BP in the bottom of the article. Like, that happens a lot. I noticed that when I go on sitter. They do the stream. They do not stream their music. They discuss why Spotify adjusts BTS streams monthly as proof of fraud. I too wish it was live, not delayed live streaming, but that means theaters will open before 6 a.m. EDT. Where can you get Addy? I think it's already available on Walmart, and I don't know if they're in Costco. I'm pretty sure Walmart, maybe Amazon. Um, it was on pre-order. It was on pre-order last 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it is now available. I don't actually um I don't buy I don't eat a lot of here. Yeah, so Walmart. As of now, Walmart. I think they're in Target. So Target and Walmart here. Okay. So I've ordered online from Walmart. Yeah, so Walmart I guess is where everybody's ordering. Good night, Dodger girl. I have ordered online for Walmart. I haven't tried that one. I will still want to buy the BTS Lego. Okay. All right. So I think it's a little too late for me to start another topic. So I still have 4 minutes to go if you want to ask questions, but I will conclude the presentations for today with that. I will see you Friday for the rest of you, but I can stay for another 4 minutes just in case you want to ask questions. Um, Let me see. Let me check for you. Walmart is big enough of a distribution. And if you have Walmart, Costco is probably next. Oh, they have Ari in on Amazon. They have Ari on Amazon and they have Ari on Target. So you can buy it all over. Yeah. You can buy it all over. They're well distributed. Thank you for today and see you again for Friday. See you on Friday. Any more tickets in LA? What do you mean? You mean for concert tickets? Heard that they might sing normal in Korean. Don't quote me. That's what they said that they're probably gonna do the Korean version of normal. That would be a treat. Oh my god. Yeah. Walmart gives free shipping if the order is 35 or more. I hope they'll become available internationally. Um so I will be sending a box. I don't know if you know this, but Filipinos love getting boxes from from America. So twice a year, I try to send a box or two of different goods from the US. Although a lot of the goods in the US are actually available in the Philippines, but they still like getting it from me. So some of my friends and some of my cousins that are BTS fans actually asked me for Ari because it's not available in the Philippines yet. Okay. Bye, Alex. Any more tickets in LA? Okay. Do you think you can win suites in Vegas if BTS comes again? Do I think I can get win suites? But it's too far. Bye, Jazzy J. Did you see the AI with RM talking about AMAs? I try to avoid AIs like that. I'm okay. I'm very very supportive of AI, but I don't like when they're using AI to make anyone look like they did or say something that did not happen. Like I will support enhancement in AI. If you want to make me look 30 pounds lighter in AI, I will support that 100%. If you want to make me 5 inches taller using AI, I support that 100%. I will not deny it. I will do my best to make it legit. Okay, but I don't like consuming AI that makes it look like someone is saying or doing something that did not happen. But AI is useful in a lot of things, just not that. Okay. Taeyang interview with Zach Sang indirectly thanking Bangtan for making K-pop known in the US. Are you going to do a giveaway? Oh, giveaway tickets. You're talking about giveaway tickets. I do have one. More tick. I have maybe two tickets probably in I think Chicago. That's Chicago. Um, but yes, I'll do more. I'll post more on Patreon. You know, one of the things that I realized is that so there were like some anyway. So I should probably just say that in the members only live stream. Never mind. Okay, when suites are in Allegiant Stadium. Ah, if they come back, yeah, probably. Good night, everyone. Good night, Bang Luna. BP for far second at that time. Ophelia is just I need my paycheck. Oh, okay. All right, 2 hours now. So thank you very much for being with me. I will see the members on Friday. So I'll do more. I'll show you more figures and numbers and charts. Okay, thank you. Bye everybody and good luck for those that are going to try for some more tickets in Singapore. If you're going to try for Busan tickets, remember June 4, 10 p.m. Korean Standard Time, they're going to be releasing Busan tickets. Good luck if you're going to try. Bye, everybody.